Welcome to West Wing Week.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the president nominated a bipartisan slate of leaders to key administration jobs, and the vice president met with a wide array of organizations to talk about efforts to reduce gun violence. That's January 4th to January 10th, or the interests of our country.
Each of us has a responsibility, Chuck has said, to be guided not by the interests of our party or our president even, but by the interests of our country.
On Friday, West Wing Week caught up with Special Assistant to the President for Economic Policy, Brian Deese, who gave us some further explanation on the Taxpayer Relief Act of 2012. That's the bipartisan legislation that was passed on New Year's Day that averted the fiscal cliff and prevented an income tax increase on middle-class families and more than 97% of American small businesses. Check out the full video at whitehouse.gov/whiteboard. On Monday, the president announced two key nominations for his national security team. Former Republican Senator Chuck Hagel, who would be the first enlisted combat veteran to lead the Department of Defense, and the president's chief counterterrorism advisor at the White House, John Brennan, to lead the CIA.
The work of protecting our nation is never done, and we've still got much to do. Ending the war in Afghanistan and caring for those who have borne the battle. Preparing for the full range of threats, from the unconventional to the conventional, including things like cybersecurity. And within our military, continuing to ensure that our men and women in uniform can serve the country they love, no matter who they love.
On Wednesday and Thursday, the vice president held a series of meetings with representatives of victims groups, gun rights organizations, and gun safety organizations as part of the administration's effort to develop new policy proposals to reduce gun violence.
The president and I are determined to take action.
On Thursday, the president called University of Alabama head football coach Nick Saban to congratulate his team on their victory in the BCS National Championship game. The Crimson Tide has now won the title 3 times in the last 4 years. That afternoon, the president held an event in the East Room of the White House to announce his intention to nominate Chief of Staff Jack Lew to be the new Treasury Secretary.
This is bittersweet not only because Tim's leaving, but also because Jack's been my Chief of Staff for the last year. He was my budget director before that. I trust his judgment. I value his friendship. I know very few people with greater integrity than the man to my left. And so I don't want to see him go because it's working out really well for me to have him here in the White House. But my loss will be the nation's gain.
To find out more information on any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
The time has come for me to return to my wife Sylvia, our 3 sons, their families, our 6 grandchildren, and my walnut farm. Dealing with a different set of nuts.